Good morning, James. Here's the machine, the Breville Oracle Touch BES990 in silver. Um, as you saw in the photos, it is a used machine, so it does have some scratches. Um, so the scratches are mainly around the front. So on the drip tray, there are a few scratches over here. A couple of very small dents. You could have missed them really, and a small scratch on here. Um, but other than that, it's in pretty good condition. Um, I've fully checked the machine and done the cleaning cycles. This machine was actually serviced by the folks at Eastlink Espresso, so I really trust those guys, and I've dealt with them many times in the past. They've done a good job maintaining and cleaning the machine. So it is. I think this one has been used for about three and a half years. It is a 2017 model. Um, I think that's when the Oracle Touch came out to the market. But anyway, yeah, the machine is in good condition all around, other than the front. And this is replaceable if you wanted to replace that. And it has absolutely no issues, and it's ready to go. So we'll make a coffee on it just as a demonstration. So, being a dual boiler, it does take a bit of time to get up to temperature. Usually it's a 5 to 10 minute wait if you turn it on yourself. But these machines are pretty smart. They actually have a clock, so they can wake up in the morning for you. So let's say you wake up at 8 o'clock, so you can program the machine to start at 7:30, and it'll have half an hour to reach temperature and warm up all the components. So these machines, what you have to warm up, uh, as with the Bambino, you have to have the portafilter nice and hot. So the Bambino will turn on instantly, pretty much, because it has a thermojet heating system, but that means the water consistency is not as good as an actual boiler machine, and the fact that it's a single boiler means that the Bambino in the Bambino you can only steam and make coffee one at a time, not both at a time. With this one, obviously being a dual boiler, you can do that because it does have an actual boiler to store the water and the steam, two separate boilers. So let's just demonstrate that. You can do both at the same time, and it really pretty much halves the time to make a coffee or a drink. So not only is this useful for you in the morning when you first make your morning cup, it's like when you have guests over, it's really helpful as well because you can half the time making multiple drinks. Okay, enough blabbering about the machine. I will make a double shot of coffee, so I'm gonna make a latte today, or maybe a cappuccino. I'll make a cappuccino just to test the milk frotter for you. Um, and so we want to start with the warming up. So like I said, you can leave it on for 30 minutes or so to warm up. That's going to warm up your top plate. Unlike the Bambino, the top plate actually gets nice and hot in here. So you can store your cups over here upside down. This is waiting for it to warm up. It will also warm up the grip head and the portafilter, very important. If you're in a hurry, you can still warm it up. If you don't want to wait, you can just run a blank shot. So I'm going to do that. Let's say a single shot of water, no coffee in the handle. This is going to warm up your cup, your portafilter, your group head, and it's also going to clean any residual oils and coffee grounds. I really like doing this step, even if the machine is hot, really. Yeah, they'll go for 25 seconds on the single. Anyway, I'll put that on the side. It should be nice and hot now. You take out the portafilter, make sure you dry it. These automated grinders, tampers, really want the portafilter nice and dry, so it's important to dry it before you start the grinding process. I will grab a scale over here just to measure the input and the output. I think it's important just to dial in the machine. You don't have to use the scale all the time, and you can actually get by setting up the machine without a scale, but it's recommended at least for the setup portion. So empty portafilter, I'm going to weigh the before and after. I think this will give me about 20 to 22 grams of coffee. That's what's standard for the oracles. You can change the dose. If you go in the mechanism, there's a mechanism that you can adjust to increase or decrease the dose. I think it should be okay from the get-go. This is a double basket, of course, which is what comes with this machine. And let's grind. Grind size number 30. Okay. So when you take it out, just flip it upside down. There may be loose coffee laying there, so just flip it upside down to get rid of that. And that's what we have, a nicely tamped bed of coffee. Make sure you clean the edges before you lock it in, and we're just going to check. That's 22 grams, yeah, just like I was expecting. 22 grams, pretty strong for a coffee. Usually it's about 18 to 20, but this machine will give you a strong coffee, which is good if you like your coffee. Yeah, so, and that's at grind size number 30. So if the coffee comes out too slow, maybe the grind size is too fine. If it comes out too quick, maybe the grind size is too large or too coarse. I'm gonna lock it in only halfway. I'm not gonna force it because it's a fairly fresh group head seal, so I'm not gonna tighten it too much. It's more than enough pressure only at 6 o'clock. What's next? I'm just gonna fill my milk jug. I have the same milk jug as you, so this is my personal one. I'm gonna fill it halfway with cold full cream milk. Very good. Obviously you have the hot water tap. I'm not sure if you have that with the Bambino. I don't think so. So hot water gives you clean hot water straight from the boiler. So the machine has a long black mode, which I think puts in the hot water first and makes the espresso on top, which is pretty handy if you want an easy long black. You can also use the hot water for tea bags, warming up your cups, etc. So it's pretty nifty. I added some sugar to my coffee because I like sweet coffee. I'm just gonna use my scale again, this time to measure the output of the espresso. So we put in 22 grams, we want to double that. So in the 30 seconds that the machine brews for, it will brew for 30 seconds on the double. So let's put it on double. We want to get about 40 to 45 grams. So ideally 44, but we'll aim for about 40 to 45-ish. If we get too much coffee, that's because my beans are either stale or the grind size is too large, which I think it's the former. I think their beans are getting there in terms of age, getting up there. If the coffee is too slow, it's mainly because the grind size is too fine. Every other variable is constant. Time is constant because the machine will give me 30 seconds all the time. So what changes the volume, how much coffee comes out. Also the tamping force is constant, so it's nice and consistent in terms of you not having to worry if you're doing the same job every time. It'll do the same job every time, pretty much. And the same thing for the dose. It'll pretty much dose the same amount every time because it's got a sensor that detects how much coffee it's putting in, which is pretty smart. Okay, let's make the coffee. I could be doing both at the same time, the coffee and the milk, but I think for the sake of the video it's good to do them separately, just so that we can focus. Okay, double. Let's see how we go. Not too quick, actually it's pretty good flow. Nice and smooth. symmetrical on both sides. I think this is going to be a good shot. You can do, while this is happening, I'm just going to purge the milk. So make sure you purge the wand just to get rid of any sort of condensation or water in the wand piping. So temperature at 60, that's where I like it. And the froth at 9, which is the max, so just that we can test the frothing abilities of this machine. I'm gonna rinse. So I like to do another blank shot after the coffee, like you saw, just to rinse the shower screen and the group head. It would be good to also grab a tissue and wipe the shower screen and the seal to keep them nice and fresh. Yeah, the milk is done, so I'm gonna grab a wet towel. As with your Bambino Plus, this does a pretty good job of texturing milk, and it stops at the right temperature. So in this case, you can select how many degrees. It's 60 degrees. So you have to clean the wand straight away, obviously. It does get pretty hot in there, so the sooner you clean it, the better, the easier it is to clean as well. And when you push it, it'll auto clean. Give it another wipe, because it usually doesn't make a mess. Sprays a bit of milk as it's cleaning, ironically. And one more wipe just to make sure it's nice and clean for you. Yeah, that's all you need to do to get a good coffee, really. It will make your life easier, as you were hoping. With the milk, I'm just going to knock the jug to break any air bubbles. Swirl it around just to kind of mix it up. I'm going to repeat this a few times until the surface is nice and smooth. There we go. It's a nice cappuccino. No latte art for me today. It's all about the taste, really. Yes, that's the final product. Sorry about the mess. Yeah, it's a cappuccino, no doubt about that. And I'm not sure with the Bambino if you had this as well, but you can actually use the manual mode as well. So if you are feeling fancy, or if you have a bit of time on your hand and you want to experiment with different milk frothing textures, you can just hold it and it will actually enter manual mode. So you can froth like a barista this way, and you can actually do the same milk as the one you get with lattes you get from a barista. Like you can do latte art, I'm pretty sure, with some practice. So I think you'll like that. And that's the machine. If you have any questions, please feel free to message me. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Thanks.